Welcome back to TheSamwad. Today we are joined by a remarkable business leader from US of Indian heritage, Dr. Purnima Voria, founder and CEO of the National US India Chamber of Commerce. She is a visionary who has spent years building bridges between the US, India, and international communities, empowering minority owned enterprises, shaping policies, and creating global trade platforms. Welcome, Dr. Boria, to TheSamwad.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Boria, you have served as a national advisor to the US Secretary of Commerce and have shaped the US Indian economic landscapes and even, inspired thousands globally. So, how did it feel to be back in Bangalore today, to be back in India, and particularly in Bangalore?
It's like homecoming for me. It is emotional and it's also very much a spiritual anchor for me. I love India and India can never get out of me. So, although I lived for 47 years in the United States, coming home to India is always a treat. And especially to Bangalore, representing the new India, the young, innovative hope for India. Every time I'm here, I see so much changes that are happening. A nation that is not waiting for the world to validate it. India is leading from the front, and I can't be more proud of that.
Very true. You have seen India transforming over decades, whether that's from boardrooms in Washington to various delegations with US companies. How do you emotionally and intellectually connect with Bharat today?
Emotionally, I'm very proud of the confidence Bharat brings today. It is carrying it very intellectual, and I see a country that has matured over the time, economically, diplomatically, as well as technologically. From Washington to Jaipur to Bangalore, the story of Bharat is now a story of global relevance, and I'm honored to be a part of that journey in a very minute way.
You have built NUICC cross industries. So, what was the vision behind, creating such a powerful platform?
But the vision was very simple. It was to build a bridge between both the nations that I love so much. India gave me birth, United States made me who I am today. And actually, a part of our culture also played a big role. In India, when elders say something, you do it, you don't question it. So the Vice President of India, Shekhar, who was my godfather, said to me to improve Indo-US relations and trade and investments. And I didn't ask any questions. I just went and registered a 501c6 and not-for-profit organization and started the National US India Chamber of Commerce. In the beginning, I thought of making it a Colorado chamber. And then I said, why am I limiting myself to what entrepreneurial spirit in me help me with the innovation? And the capital of the United States, Washington, D.C., that's where I served. And I think that the whole world churns economies across the globe from Washington, D.C. So I was, as you said, with 9,000 members, it is exactly that ecosystem where ideas, investments, and opportunities flow in both the directions in US as well as in India.
You have served under Bush administration and you have set policies which have set the foundation for several companies which are owned and operated by US minorities. So what was that, we can say what leadership principles guided you through this, high stake responsibility?
I think integrity is number one. Policy must serve people. If you remember that, we'll only do good. The second thing is inclusivity. When we talk about minority businesses, often they are left out. Minority and small businesses deserve a seat at the table. There was a point when Indian ministers came and went only to SPA. because small business administration offices who they knew about, they didn't know about MBTA, which is Minority Business Development Agency. Minority here in India is related to Arakshan. Minority businesses in the United States are like MSMEs of India, but they are at a very high level, which means a minority business can be a $200 million business. It's not a very small business, right? 200 million is nothing for US.
Mhm.
And that's who was having a little bit disparity, if I may say so, because minority businesses do not have access to capital. They don't have the networking the big businesses do. And so there are a lot of aspects that we were looking at. And I requested the Indian Embassy in the United States in Washington, D.C., to host a reception for top 100 MBEs of the United States so that they get to know India and we connect them with the MSMEs of India to make business happen. So the last one I'll say it's impact. Every decision should create tangible outcomes. It's very important. This principle helps us navigate the high stake rooms and build trust across the administration. Right now, we see the tariff issue. The trust is a little bit broken somewhere. So all these dialogues and all these principles that guide us, which is integrity, inclusivity, and impact, of course, play a very big role in doing business with India.
You have often been speaking about like bridging nations and building futures. How do you currently see the US Indian economic relationships evolving?
I think what I see is a big shift. India was always a relational country. We always built relationship and the business always came. But we are dealing with a transactional country, which is United States. We are moving from that transactional partnership into a transformational one today. And the United States is learning fast. The relationship today is driven by technology, energy, defense, supply chains, and talent, mobility, and so forth. The future is not just bilateral, it is trilateral through the Indo-Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. So today, I came up with a word called global. Economy is global right now, which means what happens globally affects the local economic development. If the businesses don't trade for this change, competition will be there. So it is a global economy, and I think every country and every business must adapt to this new global world, which is we will do business with each and every country, whoever we feel are the right partners. So business is not just bilateral anymore. It is multilateral.
With your experience, what do you think is the biggest misconception still Americans have about India?
You know, the misconceptions, the number one, they think, I feel the caste system in India. Many times, the first thing people ask me is, which caste should we do business with? And you and I know there is no caste system that comes into play when it comes to doing business with India. But people think that. So that's a misconception. One major misconception is that people have about India is that it's a low cost talent hub. And you know, Bangalore is not at all low cost. People are making good money. Hourly rates are a lot. And so it is no longer the cheap labor that you're looking for, like with China. India is now a very high skill, high value innovation partner. So I think United States need to learn that. Another misconception is India moves slowly. And yes, in some ways I agree with that. But today, India is among the fastest digital governance, fintech, and
Correct.
infrastructure execution. And with Modi ji, our even prime minister, I think this changed things drastically. I think he loves technology and it is benefiting India.
US has imposed new trade tariffs, which have really affected several Indian sectors. So, as someone who is deeply involved in bilateral trade. How do you interpret these tariffs? And do you really think that they are short term economic, or I would say they are short term political adjustments, or you can say they are long term economic positioning?
I think there's a lot of hype around tariffs, and yes, it is affecting businesses. It is affecting the ports and um, businesses that are getting a lot of products and services from various countries. But these tariffs are a part of global recalibration, is what I will say. They are more political than structural. The US is tightening supply chains, and I just talked about the ports, but they still sees as India as a very, very important strategic partner. I would call them temporary adjustments. Let's get used to it rather than a long term barrier, because it is not a barrier. It is something we need to work out. And let me put this in perspective a little bit. When Harley Davidson uh, or the motorbikes came here, the luxury bikes, India was putting 100% tariff. When we were sending things to United States, it was zero tariff. And I think what President Trump is trying to do is he's looking at his country and what benefits him. India benefited for a long time with zero tariffs. And I think United States thinking is let's do a fair play. Let the game be fair for both the nations. So if Trump saves 50% tariffs, that's steep. I don't agree with that. But if he saves 10 to 15% tariffs, or at the most 25, I think it's a reasonable thing. When we benefit for so many years, and if India is the fourth largest economy in the world, I think we should pay if we can afford it. And we should do business with the largest country in the world.
Yes,
It
yes,
would
definitely.
make sense.
What do you think? What are the opportunities that India can create out of these challenges? And do you think that these this tariff can, act as a catalyst for Indian industries to move up the value chain?
I think at least it is starting the dialogue which we never had before. I think each country wants what benefits them. Trump is there to make America great again, and Prime Minister Modi is ready to take India to new heights to make it the third largest economy. And he's very ambitious. I wouldn't be surprised if we are the first largest economy soon in the next couple of years. I think for 2047, today we are doing business with US 263 billion. I think it's only going to go into trillions by 24/7. And a lot of exchanges are going to happen. And I think the tariffs indirectly are becoming an opportunity for India. Absolutely. I believe in that. Tariffs pushes the industries to become a little bit more competitive. They also say make it technological stronger and globally relevant, because now the whole world is looking at India. I think every prime minister and president of various countries is coming to meet Modi ji in New Delhi and signing MOUs with us. I've never seen India in the last 47 years that I've been in the United States. I didn't see this young India. I didn't see this vibrant India. So I feel that globally, we have become very relevant. And I have one person to thank, Prime Minister Modi and his team. He has given us so much respect that today, when I travel for, no matter where I go, if they say, oh, India, I get so much sparkle in their eyes, I can see, and a smile on their face. Thank you, Prime Minister Modi, for making it so relevant and making India the fourth largest economy. India can use this moment to accelerate manufacturing quality, standards, and global market diversification. So opportunities are abound. Let's do business with the world.
How should Indian, MSMEs and exporters should prepare themselves for more perfectionist global environments?
I think what we need to do is MSMEs need to prepare themselves in a way. For example, I'll give you one example of textile industries. textile industry were used to having offices of Sears, J.C. Penney, Macy's in New Delhi. So they would just go to Jaipur, for example, to Rajasthan, which is a very big textile hub. And they would just order millions and millions of dollars of skirts, those ring skirts that we Sagane print Wali. So we do they used to go and give orders, and these people made crores and crores, didn't know that they have ever had to sell themselves. Today the shift has changed. E-commerce is the way. These people have to make websites because people are buying through websites, especially the second generation, like my daughters. I see them continuously ordering from Amazon. And I was used to going to the stores, roaming around with the mouse, and then buying stuff. So there is a paradigm shift even in commerce. So these exporters have to situate for the global change. Otherwise, competition will beat them. So they have to make their websites. They have to use e-commerce platforms, and they have to do business, relearn to do business the way they never did before. So I think MSMEs has great opportunities because they are backbone of any nation in this world and also United States. And if they adapt to the changes, and maybe the second generation, their children can help them with those changes and the social medias and so forth. I think parents will have to take a little bit of backseat, teach their children common sense business, which is what my father taught me, and then let them drive their business because they are very good with social media. They're very good with websites and things like that. How many hits you're getting, how much you sold, what, and it's very easy through the websites, and not worry that oh, did we have 5,000 pieces here, or did somebody just sell 50 of them and we didn't know about it. Today's world, you can keep an eye on everything. You can monitor. Sitting in the United States, I'm monitoring my office right here in Bangalore.
Yeah, we can remotely and digitally monitor
with cameras and AI and everything else. So, and NSTBs must also focus on a couple other things that I might just point out: certifications and compliances, because they are probably were not as aggressive before in doing this global business. And if they are preparing themselves and relearning the business tricks of the trade, then they have to comply and they have to get certified. Product innovation is very important. That they'll have to look into that. Digital adaptation, and thanks to MojiC, has made it very, very easy for doing business. So those
the biggest example is just the Paytm, the digital acceptance of Paytm, by the vendors, the fruit sellers, everybody.
exactly. And we are actually teaching the world. I'm so proud of India on that we are actually making it like even the currencies will be obsolete at some point. So I think that the new world that we are living in, we have to adapt to these changes. And then branding and packaging is another thing India has to learn. Because before like I said, they didn't need to. They just gave it to the stores and the store branded it with their name, and that was all. Today, we have to have our own branding. We have to have our own marketing. We have to have export readiness, is what we call it. And protectionism is temporary, but competitiveness is permanent. So we have to be very aggressive and compete with the world, because textiles are coming not just from Rajasthan, but even Bangladesh, from all over the world. So how are we going to remain very competitive? By being on the forefront.
And India being a young generation, it is like adapting, at a very fast pace. And I think it has got a lot of capacity for more adaptability at a rapid speed. And that's what we've seen over the years. Yes. And like you have been speaking, lot many times about the tier 2, tier 3 uh, uh, cities. And, they have like untapped power of that has not been seen. So how do you see, and what role do you think these tier 2, tier 3 cities, can play in Indian economic future?
I think I see a lot of GCCs coming here, but they will not be in Bangalore. And the reason I'll say that is I'm at my South India regional office that we had a grand opening yesterday evening because it's been 20 years that our chamber has been existing in the United States. And we have our Asia headquarters in India in Jaipur. We just started a South India Regional Center yesterday, but I was supposed to be picked up at 3. By the time I reached there, it was 8 o'clock. The traffic. Bangalore is not only a technology hub, it's a traffic hub. I don't think companies can afford to be in Bangalore for too long. They have to move to the tier 2, tier 3 cities where the opportunities are immense for those cities because they should be inviting, for example, in Rajasthan. I was just appointed by the Chief Minister of Rajasthan to serve on Rajasthan Foundation as New York chapter of Rajasthan Foundation, which means I'm going to bring opportunities from all the 50 states of US to my state of Rajasthan, which is my place of birth. And nothing gives me more pride than taking that challenge and the opportunity to serve my state to do this. But I think Rajasthan needs to get a little bit ahead on technological front, GCC front, and also, Pune was very quick actually. When Bangalore became very saturated, Pune picked up on that. Hyderabad picked up on that. I think all over the country, I think the 2 tier, 3 tier cities should take these opportunities. I think the leadership, the politicians should make extra effort to give incentives for people to come to their state. But that landscape should be there. The foundational thing should be there. They have to have good roads. They have to have mobility. So I would say energy, of course. Before I remember in Mumbai, the energy, they had to shut off at night the factories, right? So that the homes could get energy, or in daytime, vice versa. I don't think India is energy efficient now, and we should even get better. Because without energy, we can't do any AI work, not computers, not any of these IT people. They need 24/7 energy. So I think the solar, wind, geothermal opportunities are immense.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so have you come across like any tier 2, town or a city, surprising international investors? Any example of it that we've come across?
I always love to give example of Pune. I would also say Hyderabad. I would say Chennai. And Colorado is sister cities. Denver is sister cities with Chennai. I think these sister city relationship, these state to state relationship need to be encouraged. And I think what the states here in India can do is they should have policy consistency because that will help the state remain consistent and no surprises for these multinationals coming into our country. And faster project approvals. States and central have a separate role, and often they always look towards each other. No, state has to be, the chief minister has to be the CEO of the corporation, which means he has to run a state like not as a politician, but as a corporate CEO. When he does that, it's going to be a change. It is going to be a drastic change for that state. So central has a lot of incentives, but state has to also take over and take responsibility. So faster project approvals, chief ministers must do that. It should be, reviewed way ahead of time. And when we sit down with the chief minister, decisions should be made right away. Ease of doing business is another thing. We talk about it, but we don't implement it to the fullest. Let's work on that. Skilled workforce, every state, no IT companies, multinationals will go and put a big building like I saw when I was driving through Bangalore streets. I was so proud of Bangalore because I saw Infosys, I saw Microsoft, I saw IBM, everybody in line in one street. I don't see that in Rajasthan. I don't see that in many other places. I think that needs to happen. For the multinationals to come, we have to have skilled workforce, which means education institutions must situate for the global change as well. We have to have a lot of technological engineering and skill development colleges that can teach those things instead of sending our kids to rest of the world, to Japan, to United States to study there. We have so many IITs which are much better than MITs and Harvards of United States. Let's take advantage of that. Let's build a wing which is producing engineers by the minute for manufacturing, because Modi ji wants manufacturing in defense, aerospace, many other industries, healthcare, so forth. And so we do need the skilled workforce. Who will deliver that is the educational institutions. Strong IP protection. Many of our people are losing that because our laws are not very strong. So we legal changes also have to happen, because if you go to the United States, there's IP. If you take anything, uh, intellectual property, and you are going to be sued the very next day. But in India, we can't rely on our legal system to work that fast. So I think fast track needs to happen not only in businesses, but also our legal system. Decisions have to be made sooner. Generations die, and still the court cases are pending. I think the biggest reform, if at all I can say, and request Modi ji, is let's make our legal system like other countries. It should not take forever, and fathers should not die waiting for a court case to settle.
Yeah,
And
I
then the
think there's a
Supreme
lot
Court
of
will
work
rest one
being
thing.
done in this respect, and a lot of fast codes settling out things. You
Yes.
know, it is changing.
That
And
happens. India will deliver on these American investments. I can promise you will multiply. Those untapped asset is the tier two, tier three cities. And the next Fortune 500 startups will come from Ranchi, from Mysore, Surat, Jabalpur. Talent is everywhere. Opportunity must follow. I think India should work on it.
I think we see huge shift from the big cities to the uh, tier two and tier three cities. We've seen that a big shift
Yes.
because of the various challenges that the metros and all the places around the big cities are having. So I think we've seen that change.
I am also very excited about the connectivity India is bringing now with the fast track trains and so forth. I was watching the video yesterday, and I was so fascinated that that almost looks like we are in Europe or somewhere. So I'm so proud of our railway system also, which is improving by leaps and bounds. And these fast track trains are going to be bullet trains and so forth. That's going to make our country, like many other countries in the world, that are so proud of their railway system.
Yes. So your journey from India to advising the US government has been a source of inspiration. So, what strengths do you believe, like South Asian women, bring to the global leadership?
I think Asian women, by nature, I think by the cultural upbringing that we have here, we are a little bit shy. We are not very outgoing. We don't stand up for ourselves. And I think all those things need to change. I was here yesterday at Grace Hopper conference with 2,000 women, and it was amazing to talk to them from the stage and listen to them. And I think a couple hundred just dropped me after I got off the stage. The reason being that they were very, very inspired by my journey. And I think that United States is a great country that provides opportunities. It's a country where your dreams fulfilled. My dream would be to say the same thing about India someday. Women do not need to walk two steps behind a man. Women need to get their seat on the table in the boardrooms. Speak with conviction, speak with confidence. Do not be shy. No idea is bad. But we tend to let men talk. And I think it's a good old boys club in India. Let's make it good old boys and girls club. And women have to take charge and do that. Because whatever you want in life, just like we go to the mandir and ask for something, I think we need to go to the corporate rooms and ask for what we deserve, what we need. And because women are very good in management, we are very passionate about what we do. So we are great leaders and we are great performers.
I
But
couldn't
what
you
we
talk
are
about
not,
leadership has taken over, like if you talk about a lot of things you'll see in all sectors, women, empowered and giving a vision to the businesses. So I think it is changing, if you see, but internationally also, yes. Uh, but yes, there is a scope of like, bringing it up to the next level for global leadership.
most of these girls were asking me, how do I do this? My parents are telling me that I should get married. And I said, no, so you need to stand up for yourself because this is what I did for my own daughters, Pooja, Anjali, and Rakhi. They are very successful in the United States at this very young age, making millions, and I don't mind that because they don't ask me for loans. I want the women in India to be economically independent first, then worry about marriage and settling down. Because today's world is changing. In this world, marriage is an institution that is with partnership. It's not subservient role that we play as women. So we have to be very, very um, much ready to ask, not only in the boardrooms, but also at our home. If our, we should also communicate with our parents rather than just get angry that they told me to get married. You need to get married as soon as possible. I think more than marriage, I think we need to teach them how to live happily, how to take care of themselves. Because in the United States, I learned few good things. One of them was first, you love yourself. If you're capable of loving yourself, you can love others. So
Yes,
first,
that
take care of yourself.
is very important. I think we are having a lot of sessions, empowering women and letting them know about, like, the first most important thing is self love, and then you choose the others.
Except take care of yourself and everyone else will be taken care of. For example, if my daughters are doing well, I don't need to worry about stressing at my age to make money. Although I do it as a passion, I enjoy what I do on a daily basis. If I didn't do it, I will be happy. So I really do it for a different reason. And, when you do something right, you always make money. But that should not be just your focus. I feel that when you're economically independent, I don't worry about my children anymore because I know that they'll always have food on the table, regardless of marriages working or not working. And fortunately, they are working for my children. So it's a great thing. But not everybody is very fortunate. In my case itself, I am a single mom. I raised my children for 30 years all by myself. And my journey, which I put it in a book, in a chapter, is from home to the White House. And that was my journey. And I'm grateful to United States. It provided me the opportunity as a single woman to raise my children, do what I love doing, and also contribute to the to the country level by being a national advisor to United States Secretary of Commerce for growth and policy making of 8 million minority businesses of US, which is $1.3 trillion economy of US. So that is what I mean by becoming economically independent. And then you can lead your life the way you want it. And of course, today, to me, marriage is companionship, partnership, two incomes that both people bring to the table, and also enjoying life while we do this. We don't need to be as women subservient to anyone. Let's be partners. Let's hold our hand with our husbands and walk. And if there are doors that are going to open for us, if they don't, kick them open. Just give a kick and open the doors. You can do anything you want, you set your mind to. That's what I would like to tell people. And remain optimistic because I believe I'm a born optimist. No situation brought me down. 90%, they say, is not what happens to you. It's only 10%. 90% is how you react to it. And that tells you who you are.
Yeah, And I feel like women should not wait for opportunities to come. I think they are good enough to create their own opportunities.
Yes. Just like we make a resume, make a resume for your life. What do you want to do in your life? When I was little, all we knew is because I was with four sisters. I was the oldest one. So the first thing in Rajasthan they do is get rid of the first one, which means get her married. So I was 18 when I went in 1977 to United States. I gave it my best shot. So what if it didn't work? 62% of people get divorces in the United States. They survived and so did I. So don't let any situation in life bring you down. Just be like a lioness. Take charge of your life. And you can do whatever I want. Today, I'm my own person. And not only I became a role model for many, but I am happy that even if I was just a role model for my own daughters, I taught them economically independence, have confidence, be a leader, don't be a follower.
Yeah,
Lead your goal.
and if you talk about like Indian culture, we already believe that we consider women as Shakti, who is controlling all the power and giving all the values. So I think that serves that purpose of remembering that you are Shakti and you can do everything that you want.
Exactly. Nari Shakti is talked about forever. And award that was I received many, many awards in my lifetime. But one of them that is very dear to me is Chasiki Rani. I received a silver point, Chasiki Rani, and I felt like it truly was an award I deserved because when I was going through challenges in life, and I always believe in turning tragedy into triumph or challenges into triumph. At the time, all I thought was one thing. I'm from land of Rajputs. I'm from land of, you know, uh, Jhansi Ki Rani, right? So why am I thinking that, oh my God, I'm worrying about the future or the present? I feel like didn't have to. The moment I said that I will be Jhansi Ki Rani, and I do believe that. And look, when we have such great leaders in our country, and I met with Nirmala Sitharamanji in Embassy of India when she came there. Look at her. She's taking charge. Smriti Irani is another one. Just what an eloquent speaker. What a strong woman. We had Sushma Swaraji. What a compassionate woman, yet a great leader. So we have examples right here in India.
But there
Learn
is no
from the
stopping stone right now in India, or if you check globally, I think there is equal opportunity. And sometimes, women even empowering men at certain positions. So, so I guess
Yes.
that's what it
Sometimes
is.
we see so many women that are helping their husbands in businesses. And they may not be going every day to work, but they're sitting on the computer at home and completely supporting uh, their husbands. So I think we should become an assets for each other. We should be equal partners. And I would also encourage women to network, go to events. Don't go to work and then come back and say, I'm tired. No, charge yourself, have a cup of tea, go back again to the network event like Grace Hoppers that I went to and learn more from. There's so many people we can learn from. And when you go to these events and you network with people, I always say your network is your network, which means when you network, it's who you know, not just what you know. That who you know can give you your next opportunity in another corporations or it could be that you'll find a new business partner to do this a bit. So I think going out of the house is very important. Indians should also catch in on the women that are at home. For example, when we are told that take care of the kids. If a woman wants a career, the family would say, take care of my parents, take care of the kids, and that's good enough, and go make the money. I think today those women are sitting at home. Some of them are engineers, scientists, NASA engineers, and so forth. I think it's time because that is 50% of the population sitting at home who's very talented. I think Modi ji should create an incentive where all these women come out of the homes and contribute to the business community of India. because they'll make great entrepreneurs, they'll be great inspiration. And I think no one should steal the dream of a woman. No one should be able to do that. So now these people can come out and contribute to India's economy and progress. At the same time, they will also fulfill their dreams. Because if they had a dream of, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur for myself, let them, fulfill their dreams. Even at age 50, 60, 65, doesn't matter how old you are. I think it is time for women to fly and fly and see the sky, as well as fulfill their dreams to the fullest. I would say that women should also be good public speakers. When you get up on the stage and you are not fearing anything, you get over the nervousness and all, you become a confident woman. So I would say that that is another thing I would like to see women of India do. Get up on the stage, even if you have never spoken before. Do it. It will change your whole perspective. And another thing I would like to say is that you don't get a second chance to make the first impression. So always dress up like who you want to be. If you want to be a CEO of a company, put on a business suit and look like a CEO.
So, what kind of collaboration opportunities do you see for platforms coming from tier two and tier three, and how they can work upon with uh, NUICC, and they can have a practical step by step build up for lasting and meaningful relationships with the global stakeholders.
I think tier two, tier cities are not just the things we should be talking about. We should talk about villages too. Things happen at the village panchayat as well, correct? So there are three things I think world class digital and logistics infrastructure should be there, industry specific clusters should be there, and skill development alignment with global demand. Small towns can be global hubs for if given the right ecosystem that they require. So, from that point of view, I would say that uh, National US India Chamber of Commerce promotes business through business relationship that often results in business deals. So, we find the right partners for you. We do the due diligence. We help you with the taxation. We do events that bring you together for networking, for meeting the right partners, and learning from each other. We bring speakers that are of high caliber so that people can learn or be inspired by them. That is the role I played yesterday at the conference. So I think those things are required. Chambers are, you can see, a conduit to make things happen. For example, Modi ji really wants or majority of the Indian businesses to do business with US, which means Indian businesses should have presence in the US, whether it's through joint venture partnership, whether it's with Indian companies can buy some of the growth-oriented companies in the United States. We can. We are doing very well in India economically. We have a lot of money. So we should invest in what are lucrative opportunities. Not only that will help with the partnership, but it will also be a very good technological exchange. For example, if we want to manufacture in defense and aerospace, we should partner with defense and aerospace companies in, let's say, Colorado is full of them. Then our manufacturing Indian business should partner with them. And that way, the companies don't have to leave and come here and get the licensing and everything. The Indian partner would be helping with all that. But at the same time, we're getting the technology. These are people are making more money. They are manufacturing, and that's going to help India sell defense related things to the world. So that kind of partnership is what we would like to cement. Brokering the deals is one of my specialties. Uh, how to make a deal, how to make a business, successful business deal with India. Because I need know India and I also know United States. So I spent 18 years in India, but I spent 47 years in the United States. So I could be a very big asset. Our chamber could be a very big asset for Indian businesses wanting to embark into the United States for business opportunities to grow their business here and also seek opportunities worldwide. So I think that is what is required today, is that the bridge builder should be there. And somebody who has the knowledge, somebody who will take care of you. Sometimes we have US commercial services, we have a Chamber of Commerce here, and many times they charge a fee, but they give you five connections. But then what? People in the United States tell me that, oh, I'm not getting my emails returned from India. I'm not getting my phone calls returned from India. So we as a chamber, we handhold businesses. We make sure they succeed in what they set out to do. I don't want them to bash India when in the United States say, oh, I can never do business with India. Don't go to India. I don't want to hear that. I want to make sure that I keep the value system, and I also keep the prestige and the pride I take in both the countries to make sure that we find the right partners. We do the due diligence, we hold the hands, and we make sure businesses succeed. Because if businesses succeed, we succeed as a chamber.
What impact do you think this diaspora have on the American economic, cultural, and strategic landscapes? And do you think that this diaspora um, can strengthen the U.S. Indian ties?
I think they are already doing it for many, many years that we've been living there. So Indian diaspora has become very important in the global business today, because not only in US, but all across the world. That is why it's a great thing that we do the Bharti Pravasi Divas every 2 years. I think that can be utilized, that platform can be utilized to do more business. Right now, it's just bringing the Indians together, but if we make more focused efforts in the Bharti Pravasi Divas, that is great. On December 10th, we have the Rajasthani uh, Pravasi Divas, that PRD Divas, which is celebrated in Rajasthan. And that is why I'm here also, um, as a ambassador for Rajasthan in all the 50 states of US through the Rajasthan Foundation uh, president uh, ship that I have received from the CM, the trust I have received. I think states do vibrate Bashar, but I don't think every state does it. One thing is very important that I suggested to Rajasthan is we need to represent these states. I think we should take turns. Karnataka and I know that Madhya Pradesh has been very aggressive in World Economic Forum in Davos. Telangana is also. I haven't seen Rajasthan go to World Economic Forum and have a pavilion there and showcase the opportunities in tourism and export import and whatever Rajasthan offers. And I'm not just saying about Rajasthan, but I'm just giving an example. India should take turns. All the 29 states of India, I think three to five states should go every year to the World Economic Forum. There's also another forum in Colorado, which is called Ideas Festival. I think uh, people should come and put their pavilions, the states, and I mean the chief ministers of the state should lead a delegation at the World Economic Forum. That is the biggest world stage for business. And all the prime ministers of presidents of various countries come there. In fact, I saw them on the street. I was shaking hands with all of them right on the street. And how many times can you go somewhere and you can get to the prime minister on the streets? You are prevented to even go near them. But that's a great place, and I encourage India to seriously look at the World Economic Forum. I know CII goes there and does one event. That's not good enough. That is just CII being their businessmen that they want to promote. That doesn't help the entire India. So I think the states should take charge, and maybe India always has an India pavilion, but I think the state has to take a leadership role in this.
Definitely, definitely. Like India is one of the youngest populations in the world. How do you think India's youth can become a powerful contributor um, in business, innovation, and diplomacy? And what should they focus to become true global contributors?
I think they are all of these people are so smart right now. I'm so proud of our young Indians in India. Uh, Number one, because they are not going to go work for people. The mind shift has changed. This IIT Bangalore, people going to various good colleges are what they are doing is they are coming together and they are signing, they are actually coming together with their friends and saying that, I'm not going to work for anyone. I'm going to create a business. Even though they receive many, many multi-million-dollar packages from Microsoft, from IBM, from Intel, and so forth. But today's young India is saying, let's come together. Three friends will come together, create a business, and then few years later, you see businesses that are several billion dollars. Uh, and I think that is the new India. I think we need to not be going and looking for jobs in companies. I think we should be creators of jobs. And I think these young Indians are going to do that with startups, with center of excellences, with incubators, and they are going to bring opportunities that don't exist today. We just need incentives. We need encouragement. I think education institution should quit making education as a money making tool only. I see a lot of corruption happening in educational institution that needs to stop. I think the government needs to intervene, and these educational institutions can bring first class engineers, doctors, business people, but they need to do it not with every certification, give 10,000 rupees. You want to do this, give 20. And then they still don't even get jobs. I think India education system needs a major, major reform. And I would
Already set stones to change the education system, and the government is really working hard to put
yes,
up to the standards. So,
I think the government needs to police the institutions, educational institutions a little bit. So this doesn't happen. If if Khan Academy or someone else can give it for economical cost, some of these people are farmers' children, but they have big aspirations. How can a farmer afford to give 20,000 for this certificate, 15 for this, and then two they don't get anything? Or some just give the money and they just get the certificate. They don't even go to the classroom. I think that needs to be fixed because India is very good. People are jealous of India, but because India produces engineers by the minute, 15,000 engineers every minute, and I think world admires that. Let's keep our institutions a little bit in check so that we don't lose that. We don't. We continue to be the India we were, and we want to be. I think it's very important for the leadership of India to see that. I would also encourage Modi ji for one thing. I know that he always is the first prime minister I heard of, at least, who is from Zoom calls, takes care of all the embassies. He has once a month meetings, if I'm not mistaken. He also meets with all the consulate officers across the world at least once a month. And he gives directions of how they should be, what they should be doing in the consulate offices and in the embassies. That is very good. Not once have I seen, and I would request and encourage Prime Minister Modi to talk to us, the Chamber of Commerces, because day to day, we are the ones who are churning the economy. We are the ones who are helping the businesses. He should talk to us as to what works, what doesn't work. And even if it's once a year, get all the chambers of commerce of US one time. Maybe and or you can get global. I don't think he can talk to everyone. So maybe one country at a time. Talk to the people who are making the industry successful, who are making the businesses successful, who are the people that are helping corporations create jobs. I think that is required. So I look forward to that. I think it will happen through this podcast and through the media. We'll continue to request that. And I'm sure that Modi ji will take heed to that.
what do you think they admire most about India today?
I think they admire our upbringing. The first thing they admire is our spirituality. We are very spiritual people. We believe in karma, good karma. So by we learned while we were little in India, I carry all that to United States. So our spirituality, our cultural uh, ways of doing things, we always offer to people. We treat guests as God. The cultural upbringing is so beautiful of India.
If you were given a chance to give an advice, a piece of advice to Indian youth stepping into global business, what would it be?
Keep the fire in the belly for what you want to achieve in life. Be an optimist because optimism is a faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence.
One policy that you could change today to improve global trade.
I think it's global trade to me means with relationship. I think global trade should be done with should be relational. It should be done with relationship, not transactional. Because transaction you can do 1 or 2 times, but when you have a relationship, business always continues. It comes to you.
Yeah. One mistake you often see businesses are, repeatedly making when expanding internationally.
I think that when we are hurrying too much and don't take we are not patient about understanding the other person, which means communication is the biggest thing in anything you want to do, whether it's business or job. If you communicate well, you can achieve things. So I think the patience, listening to others, communicating well is very important.
One legacy that you hope to leave in the US Indian business ecosystem.
I think, again, value relationship, value your network because that is your network.
One book that changed your thinking.
Gita is the one.
Okay.
Although many people think that if I don't get the results, why should I even come to work if I don't get the paycheck? But some results are invisible at times. And you see the value of those things. Long term, just like you live your life in Gita, it's a long term process. It's not a 1 day or 2 day. I think I like the program India started. IMM started that, which is management through Gita style. I love things like that.
Yeah. So one quality that every global leader should have.
Compassion, kindness. It is very important in today's fifth industrial revolution we are embarking on.
A piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career.
I think I wish somebody had told me that don't worry about past, worry about present, then the future is taken care of.
It has been an inspiring and enlightening discussion offering clarity, wisdom, and hope for future entrepreneurs and leaders. Thank you, Dr. Voria, for being with us at TheSamwad today.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure and privilege. Grateful to you.